If I heard you correctly when you were responding to, I think, to Honorable Ngola, you said holistically the letter was wrong. So when you say that, do you mean that the minister was acting ultra-virus in all the regarding all the instructions that he gave in that letter? Because remember, the instruction was not only related to the disbandment of political killings. There were other 2 instructions, and in total there were 3. So the minister acted ultra-virus. Is that your conclusion?
Yeah, I did say that according to me, yes, he acted wrong on 2 matters: political disbandment of political killing task team and the matter of the stop filling of posts in the crime intelligence. The ports of entry, no, I don't think there's anything wrong there.
Yeah, because somewhere in your statement you have articulated the statutory and constitutional responsibility of the National Commissioner and those of the minister. The gist of the minister's responsibility is to formulate and implement policy. That is correct.
Honorable Chair, yes, yes, to develop national policing policy.
So these matters were not related to that scope of framework. They were operational matters.
According to me, the 2, they were operational matters that were within my terrain of managing. I could, if you have a problem with the task team, you could have said, I have a problem, 1, 2, 3 with the task team. Then I would go and investigate, see how serious is that. If it's so much serious that I should disband the task team, then I will do it, or take out the members and bring other ones. Yes, that's what I would have done.
Okay, the last paragraph of that letter says, open quote, "My observation in this regard, as indicated above, is that further existence of this team is no longer required, nor is it adding any value to policing in South Africa." Now, I know that your sentiments around this, your sentiments are that the team was effective because you went to an extent of giving us statistics of the arrests that were made and the investigations. Now, so I want to get the extent of the work that was done by this political killings task team. You know, I'm going to put a proposition to you, and I would request your opinion. And the reason why I'm going to put this proposition is because I want to be sure if you arrived at the root cause of political killings in KZN during your investigations. Because there's a perception that at the center of political killings, taxi bosses are involved. Now, my assertion is that National Commissioner, because of a decline of the profit margin in the taxi industry, the former the former taxi bosses resorted to getting involved into tenders. And their anchors in tenders are politicians. To safeguard their interests, they still use the same modus operandi that they used when they were still taxi bosses, of eliminating people who appear to be problematic to them. When you are doing, because I'm trying to establish the effectiveness of that team, did you go to that extent when you were making your investigations? And do you agree with my assertion?
Thanks, Honorable Chair. Yes, to an extent, we have picked up that, taxi environment, they move to the political sphere for tender purposes, and that assertion is true. But also in the province like Western Cape, in terms of the gangs, they're also doing the same.
Are you aware of a perception that the police are scared of taxi bosses? Are you aware of that public perception? That the police are scared of dealing with taxi bosses?
No, there might be that saying, but I know that they are not.
No,
Maybe some police,
remember,
not all.
perception is not a fact, it's just a perception. I'm not saying that by being a perception, then it's true. But are you aware of that perception?
No. Police that are afraid of taxi bosses. No.
That is why the taxi industry took over during the looting. It's because there was a great loss of confidence in the police. In some areas, in some malls, in Mzimkulu, for instance, where I come from, the police gave over and the taxi industry took over and there was order in town.
Okay.
Are you aware of that perception?
Well, I wouldn't deny it. I wouldn't deny what you are saying, but I will deny that there's a general perception that police are afraid of taxi bosses, whereas we are arresting the taxi bosses.
Okay, so was this political killings task team able to arrest some of the taxi bosses who are involved in killing comrades?
Offhand, I wouldn't be able to comment on that one. I don't know. I never checked that. I don't know, Honorable Chair. But what I know is we do arrest them. We've just cleaned up Eastern Cape, and now we are coming here. From here we go Gauteng. So we're not afraid of them, no.
Okay, let's go to General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, the Provincial Commissioner of KZN. Went to the media on the 6th of July. One would say he just became helpless in the situation because at some point he attempted to appear before the Zondo Commission. They never allowed him to appear. He tried to address his concerns within SAPS. He was never given audience. So his conduct on the 6th of December was as a consequence of desperation and was as a consequence of the fact that he lost confidence in the system. Is that correct?
No, I wouldn't say so. I agree that yes, he did report to those various authorities that you said. And on the 6th, he ended up going, making a press conference. Honorable Chair, you should be aware that, remember, when he went on the conference of the 6th, it's after that we know now what is happening. Before that, we didn't know, and he didn't go to a press briefing.
Okay, if the minister comes here and say, General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi is doing all of this because he is part of a certain cabal in the SAPS, which involves General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, the National Commissioner, and General Khumalo, how will you react to that?
Well, the fact of the matter is, it's not a cabal. We are not a cabal. We are just doing our work. Whoever will call us a cabal, I will be suspicious if maybe is that person not in some way in charge of a cabal. We are not a cabal. We are just doing our work. And it's been a long time that we have been doing this work. You can go back to 2011 when we were there. We did the work. And even now, all what we want to do is to do the work. we are doing the work with the political killings task team in KZN. In Gauteng, we discovered what's happening, and we are investigating that. In CI, when Minister Kelo was still around, we said, myself and Kumal, we said with him to say, hey, let's fix this, and he agreed. And up to so far, I think he's the only minister that I know agreed that let's clean up crime intelligence. And he committed to that, and we started the process. Unfortunately, then he left, and unfortunately, with the new minister, it never went through that. If we are cabal for what? To do, we're doing what?
Okay.
We're dealing with what?
My second last question, Chair. General Ndlandla Mkhwanazi said he thinks that General Kumalo is a target. Do you also hold the same view? Because he even said that at some point there was an attempt to kill him at the airport, and they had to beef up his security. And there was also an attempt to link him with the murder of Cindy Somakak, which was frivolous. Do you agree with that?
I totally agree with that.
Who is targeting Mr. Kumalo? And why is he a target?
I wouldn't know why they target him, but one thing I know is that General Kumalo is a good investigator, and he does his investigation proper. Yes, I would agree that he's been targeted, and I do agree that there were those incidents, and we beefed up security. And I think, yeah, some of the matters might require certain in camera to delve much on them, which might affect investigations. So I think maybe one would, it might not be a good platform to get into some of those details.
Is it true that the DG in the presidency is protected by members of the task force? Are you aware of that?
No, it's not true.
It's not true.
Correct.
Thank you very much. No further questions, Chair. Thank you.
We are cruising very, very nicely, honorable members. Your performance is very impressive, and I must give you this credit. Honorable Breitenbach, is it you or Honorable Cameron? It will be you. Once you are done, you hand over to Honorable Malema, and then we'll break for lunch. In that way, honorable members, thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, General. We have already established that you're well, so let's not go there again. So, General, you're the top cop in South Africa.
Your microphone is far from you.
It's difficult. You're the top cop in South Africa. You're the only real general in the South African Police Service. And you say that you hold the view that the instruction of the minister to close the political killings task team was ultra vires and encroached on your domain as the National Commissioner. So why did you not tell him so? Tell him that you won't close it down, that it's doing good work and that he's out of line. Why didn't you just do that?
Thanks, Honorable Chair. But even though I tell him that this team is doing a good work, we're not supposed to close it, he said we must close it.
No, General, I'm sorry, you're missing the gist of the question.
Oh, sorry.
The question is, not that you didn't discuss it with him, I'm sure you did. Thank you. Why didn't you tell him you're not interested? He's encroaching on your terrain, he's out of line, he can't do what he's doing, and he must concern himself with his own business and you concern yourself with yours. Well,
Thanks, Honorable Chair. Like I said, I did my best to tell him, let's not close, and he insisted.
General, my difficulty is that he can't insist. So, I mean, let's just cut to the chase. He can't insist, he can't tell you what to do. You're the National Commissioner of the South African Police Service. There's no one above you, and he's not above you.
He's a minister of police, he's above me.
Not in the hierarchy of the South African Police Service, General, and you and I both know that. You call the shots in the South African Police Service, not the minister. And if he tries, you should tell him to go to hell. Why didn't you?
Yeah, well, I didn't tell them that, and I take him as Minister of Police, and I told him in a nice way that let's not do this thing, and he kept insisting, no, we do it.
So when you told him in a nice way and he didn't go away, why didn't you tell him in a less nice way?
Yeah.
That's not an answer. General, you're the National Commissioner. You're the head honcho. You're the boss, not him. Why didn't you tell him that? Tell him to mind your own business and go do your own job.
Yes, I'm the National Commissioner, but I'm subject to his directions.
Do you consider him to be your boss?
Yes, I consider him, yes, to be
Your boss?
my supervisor, yes.
The National Commissioner of the South African Police Service thinks the minister is his boss. Wow. So, then you said, you discussed with him, he gave you no answers, real answers about why it should close down. Nothing was satisfactory. And then you said something odd. You said, if it had been something about farm murders, the citizens of South Africa and parliamentarians would have reacted to the closing down. But because it wasn't, no one reacted. Now, why do you want citizens of South Africa and parliamentarians to do your job? It's your job to deal with that issue, not anybody else's. Did you come to Parliament and say, the minister is encroaching on your domain, he's exercising unacceptable political interference in the police service? Did you do that? And if not, why didn't you do it?
Thanks, Honorable Chair. We did appear at the committee. We briefed them how good the political killings task team is doing its work, and there was any member of the team that would say, no, we think this the minister shouldn't do.
Again, General, I have difficulty with, you're a really nice guy. I mean, there's no question about that. But you're too nice. You're way too nice. You're the head of the South African police. Nobody can tell you what to do. You've got a lot of power. You don't seem to want to exercise it. And I don't understand that. Why didn't you come to the Portfolio Committee and say, this minister, tell them to call him to the Portfolio Committee and then sit there with him and say, this minister is interfering in the South African Police Service. He's telling me what to do. Why didn't you do that? How else would they have known?
Thanks, Honorable Chair. We learn. So in future, if I'm still there, that's what I will do, what you say.
You say that no IMC has been created in the 7th administration. Why not?
Well, that we didn't know. Normally, IMCs get established when there is a specific problem, and yeah, I wouldn't know whether it was still going to be established or not for the specific matter of political killings. Maybe partially it might be because it was under control, the team was doing the work.
Let's have a look at that. So it was under control and they were doing good work. On page 15 of your affidavit, you say that 612 dockets have been allocated to the task team since June 2018 to date. So it's around about 7 years, is that correct?
That's correct, Honorable Chair.
Amongst other things, you say that 10 cases are pending a decision by the National Prosecuting Authority. So how long have they been with the National Prosecuting Authority? How long, generally speaking, do they take to make a decision? And how long have these 10 cases been with them?
For the political killings task team, Honorable Chair, because they do have the prosecutors that are working with them, it doesn't take long. So that is as of that time, I think February 2025. So those cases have been finalized and they've been handled.
You say 57 cases have been withdrawn. What are the typical reasons for these withdrawals?
Yeah, withdrawals, there will be, of course, various reasons, as Honorable Chair, as the Honorable Member knows. He was in this field before, so I wouldn't be able to table exactly one by one reason for the withdrawals, but it will be either maybe some of these suspects might have, or the case have fallen. Normally what happens here is witnesses do support the investigation. At some point, they turn around, especially your Section 204 witnesses. Some of them, they just somersault and turn around. We have one of the murder cases in Zululand where witnesses have done the same thing, which is quite I think it was a killing of a municipal manager. So I'm just giving an example, but that's some of the reasons that happens.
I would imagine that happens quite often in this kind of case.
You are.
And that must be one of the reasons why there's a political killings task team, so that proper care can be taken of the witnesses so that they don't become intimidated or killed, so that the case can run. Is that not what the task team does?
Yeah, no, the task team does. They do take care of the witnesses, but it just happens sometimes. Some witnesses run out of where they have been protected, and they end up being paid and they turn around.
And then you say 297 cases have been finalized. What does this mean?
Finalized means where they are, where there is either is acquittal or there is a conviction. Yeah, that's what it refers to.
So you'll agree with me, General, to understand whether the political killings task team has in fact been successful. We'd need to know how many of those 297 cases ended up in an acquittal and how many ended up in a conviction.
Yeah, no, there is such a breakdown. Maybe one can send such a breakdown in terms of how many. But yeah, most of them were quite, let me just check if I won't find it here. Yeah, I think I'll look for it, Honorable Chair, and I will be able to give the Honorable Member. Thanks.
I won't hold you to it, General. Just give me a ballpark. 50% convictions, 60% convictions, 10%?
More or less 40%. But of late, as of this year, the conviction have increased quite a lot because most of your 2018-19 cases were finalized late last year and this year. So the performance is quite very good.
So General, again, you're a very nice guy. Your subordinates seem to act with scant regard for you and your rank. They seem to disrespect you. Do you agree?
Well, they do respect me and we respect each other, Honorable Chair.
I said they disrespect you.
Yes,
They do
some,
as they please.
Honorable Chair.
They do as they please, clearly. And why do you put up with it? If you didn't want to close the political killings task team, why didn't you reprimand Sabia and tell him to concern himself with his own business and not act counter to your orders? How do you exercise authority over the people that report to you?
Thanks, Honorable Chair. Yes, I was exercising authority, but as I said, there was also this lake that the Minister and General Sabia were also pushing.
So who's the head of the South African Police Service?
Myself, Honorable Chair.
And so Sabia doesn't listen to you, and your reaction is to say, just leave it, I'll do it myself. That's not exercising authority. Why don't you tell him to do the job you told him to do? He answers to you.
Well, that time, Honorable Chair, remember, I didn't know what was the objective of all this. I thought he can't really do what I expect him to do. Hence, I said, leave it, I'll do it myself and get other people to do it.
General Sabia is a lieutenant general. It's not an insignificant rank in the South African police. Surely he's capable of doing any job you tell him to do.
Correct, Honorable Chair, but he couldn't. So it was my understanding that time. It was that maybe he doesn't know how to do it. I didn't have a benefit of what we all know now.
No, General, you can't
thought-
slide out of it like that. I'm very sorry. You can't just say you didn't think that he couldn't, or you thought he couldn't do the job. How long have you known Sabia? He occupies the second highest rank in the South African police force. And when he doesn't do what you tell him to do, you assume it's because he can't? It looks to me like he wouldn't.
Well, that time I thought you can't, Honorable Chair.
And you say, we sit here today knowing what we know. And only after the 13th of May did we know that the plans to start the disbandment of the political killings task force started after the raid on Matlala and Molefe. And before that, you didn't know it. Is that
That's correct, Honorable Chair.
But how could you not have known? What is the crime intelligence doing? Are you not briefed daily on intelligence issues? And if not, why not?
Yeah, you do get briefed, but this one we did not know, Honorable Chair.
You know, the rest of South Africa knew and has known for some time. You're probably the only person who didn't know. How is that possible?
Well, Honorable Chair, indeed I didn't know, I must say, and we only know that day.
Also said that you were not so sure that it was an illegal order from the minister. If you weren't so sure, the South African Police Service has got a huge legal division with lots of well-paid people. Why didn't you ask one of them for an opinion?
Well, we did ask, and they were also, some said yes, some said no.
That's not how legal opinion works, General, and you and I both know it. A legal opinion works like this. You give somebody a brief, and you ask them for them, not their opinion, not what they think, what the law says. That's a legal opinion. And they would have prepared one for you and told you what the law says. Not something this, something that. That's not a legal opinion, and you and I both know that. So please, will you answer the question?
Yeah, Honorable Chair, thanks. As I said, I did ask, and that's what I got.
Some said yes, some said no.
Yeah, and that time, of course, I said, it's a fine line whether it should be Is it, some would say yes, is a policy direction. Some will say no, he have encroached. So I chose my way to say I think he encroached. So I don't know what is the feeling of this Honorable House.
Did you get a written legal opinion on whether the instruction from the minister was in fact ultra vires or not?
Oh no, Honorable Chair, I didn't get a written legal
Why
opinion.
not?
I deemed sufficient what they were advising me verbally.
Well, they weren't advising you. Some said yes, some said no. That's not advice. So you didn't really feel strongly about this at all. You just go with the flow, wherever the wind blows you. Is that correct?
That is not correct, Honorable Chair. If I went with what he said, indeed, we wouldn't have the PKTD today.
Now, Section 207 of the Constitution mandates you to exercise control over and manage the police service in accordance with the national policing policy and the directions of the cabinet minister responsible for policing. Is that correct?
Correct, correct, Honorable Chair.
And in your view, what does this mean? What are the parameters of your authority as far as you're aware?
Well, my understanding, Honorable Chair, is yes, Minister will develop policy and I implement, and he will give directions. I think the matter around directions is what one might say it's not clear as to what exactly, how far do these directions go? Do these directions mean giving instruction to say don't do this or do this? So, but my interpretation was that, let's say for argument's sake, what he said is a direction. I hold the view that probably he would have said, there's a problem with the PKTT. Check what is happening, whether it should still continue, yes or no. Then I will go and do that. So that's what I think would be a direction. But then, in this case, to go beyond to say close and close immediately, that's where I thought maybe it's an encroachment. But I think it's a matter that requires maybe some legal clarity.
So you've already said that you think the minister is your boss. If the minister's son, this is purely hypothetical, if the minister's son is arrested for something and he phones you up and says, let him go, will you do it?
What, his son do what?
Hypothetically, if the minister's son got arrested for a criminal offense and the minister phones you up and says, let him go, will you do it?
No, I won't do it. Through you, Chair.
I see. So General, the claims made by General Makwenazi, are they true?
Which claims?
All the claims that he made in his press conference, everything he said, is it true?
Well, I do take them, yes, that it is true.
Well, if they're true, then the South African Police Service is in a huge mess. No? We should all be very worried. That's why we're sitting here today. You agree?
Honorable Chair, after the discovery of what we discovered on Matlala's phone, yes, I agree, there are problems.
Again, General,
And those problems, we are addressing them.
if that's the first time that you became aware of problems, and that's when you started to be worried, General, then you've been living under a rock for the last 12 years. Because we all know that's not where the problem started. You know it, I know it, everybody sitting here knows it. And if you don't know it, then there's a big problem.
Thanks, Honorable Chair. I did say earlier, Honorable Chair, that the institutions of the justice system, yes, as you say, we know where it started. Yes, we know where the deterioration started, where the rot started. And we start implementing measures to improve. We know most departments were affected after 2009, and they were hollowed. That's a fact. And we are not all at our best capacity at this moment in time, but we are doing our best to clean up those areas that are affected.
Okay, would you tell me 3 things that you did? Because you've had a high rank for a long time. Will you tell me 3 things that you did to clean up crime intelligence?
Well, I removed some of the senior managers there. I appointed a new capable divisional commissioner. And, well, some of the things we're still doing, we're not finished. And in that space of crime intelligence, yeah, one might have limitations in talking, but we rectified some messes that were happening there in terms of informers' claims, senior managers abusing some resource vehicles. We attended to that. So, yes.
Did you fire all of the family members of Richard Mdluli who he appointed?
We fired some, not only him, but we have fired some.
Did you fire all of them?
No, not all of them.
Why?
Some have been legitimately appointed. So General Kumar was still busy dealing with those matters. But there are those that we found not legitimately, not only Mdluli, but other families, and we fired them.
What kind of a relationship do you have with Becky Cele?
My relationship with Becky Cele is a minister of police. He was minister of police, and we only meet at work. We don't, after hours, meet to drink coffee or whatever. He lives his life, I live my life. We only meet when you are at work. We are not friends. We're working colleagues, but after hours, he has his life, I have my life.
Have you seen him since he's no longer the Minister of Police?
I saw him once. I bumped against him somewhere. But other than that, I don't talk to him. I don't phone him. He doesn't phone me. But I enjoyed working with him. Well, he have his shortfalls, problems, but enjoyed working with him.
You said yesterday that you didn't know Kat Matlala or Brown Mokotsi. And when you say that, do you say you didn't know them or you didn't know of them?
I didn't know them, and I didn't know of them until General Mkonazi spoke to me about a Brown Mokotsi. Because he asked me whether I know this person. I say, I don't know. He says, no, this person was with you at Lisukisiki when 18 people were murdered there. I says, well, if he was there, I don't know this guy. Even Matlala, I don't know him, I haven't heard of him.
Doesn't it concern you a little, General, because it concerns me more than a little, that the head of the South African Police Service says he doesn't know people that it's common knowledge are intricately involved in the underworld and amongst the most well-known gangsters in South Africa, and you don't know it?
Well, I must be honest, I didn't know of that. But now I know.
You say that you did not know who Babita Diakaran was, and that now we should all take pride in the fact that the theft and corruption at Tembisa Hospital has been stopped and has implicated Kat Matlala.
As I said, I didn't know her before. I know her after there's a name of Babita Diakaran that she was killed. Yes, I know about her.
Are you aware of the fact that the actual shooters are serving prison sentences after pleading guilty? We all know how that little scenario works and will play out. The actual kingpins have never been caught. The persons who organized it and paid for it are still at large. And it doesn't appear as if anything's being done to apprehend them. How can this be something that you're proud of?
Well, I now know who are the masters of that, and we are busy with them. You'd recall that the case of those that were convicted was investigated by the Hawks, and now we are investigating a case of the masterminds. It's done by the GC Ops, Gauteng. So we know them, we are dealing with that matter.
Have you ordered an audit of the Crime Intelligence Covert Fund? And if so, what were the results?
The results, after many years, where they were not getting, they were not getting a good audit. I think the last financial year, for the first time, they got an unqualified audit report, and it's quite a big improvement from where they come from.
You also said that since January 2025, you have been aware of a syndicate that has significant influence and connections within the political, law enforcement, and criminal justice systems. What does this mean?
What I mean by that is that this cartel is not only infiltrating SAPs. What we mean is that it does have influence to some of the people in the NPA, and it also does have influence to some of the people in the judiciary. That's what it means, and I took it from the report given by the members of the GC Ops.
Why haven't these people been arrested?
We are in the process. That's why we have Gauteng counterintelligence operations. They are dealing with that. You will see the results as time goes on.
Yeah, you know, it's nearly the end of October already. When?
To investigate organized crime, you know very well. It's not like you take a person. You can arrest a person now, yes, put him there, but if you don't really have the evidence to prove, then you have a problem. That's why we take so long. And of course, the arrest of Khumalo have also brought complications in the whole investigation, but the team is still there, they are going forward.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, General.
Thanks, Honorable Chair.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Good afternoon, General. I want to ask very few questions. I think colleagues have dealt with a lot of issues. Were you reluctant to open a case against those who were involved in the issuing of illegal directives or instruction, including General Sevilla, who wrote a letter to disband PKTT, even when you said you shouldn't issue that letter? I will deal with the matter.
Thanks, Honorable Chair and members. Good afternoon, Honorable Member. No, I wasn't reluctant. After we discovered what is being happening, I appended my signature, I appended my affidavit, and give it to the members to open a case, which is it's being open. It's an inquiry, but I'm sure it will end up being a case.
No, but General Mkhwanazi says he came to you 3 times, and you only got the affidavit when he came for the 3rd time. He had to come himself to Pretoria and wait for you to write an affidavit. So why would he come to you 3 times if you're not reluctant to open a case?
No, I wasn't reluctant, Honorable Chair. I wrote the affidavit, And of course, if there are certain matters that they find that they are not included in the statement, they will indicate, ask me to say, what about this? Then I'll amend the affidavit and write it and give him. I was never hesitant, Honorable Chair.
I don't think it is correct to say the crime scene is in KZN. The crime scene is in Pretoria. The dockets are taken to Pretoria. The letters are being written in Pretoria. Some of these implicated people are in Pretoria. You wait for a general from KZN to come and ask for an affidavit from you instead of you registering or opening a case in Pretoria as a top cop, because these things are happening at the head office, not necessarily in KZN. KZN and General Mkwanazi tells us that he only comes in when they started touching PKTT. So, meaning these people have been running wrong things there in the head office. And General, you don't open a case until General Mkwanazi comes. What informs that?
Honorable Chair, the opening of the case, we only open the case after we realize what is happening. Even him, he didn't open a case before because we didn't know what was happening. After we realized what is happening, then we wrote that's when I appended my affidavit, and we look as to where will this be, and we said, well, the team is in KZN, and we registered the case there in KZN. It didn't make a difference, but we said the scene is there where it happened, but yeah, that's how we arrived at it.
No, General, all of us agree that everything happened after you discovered there is a rot. There's something going on which is wrong. You should accept that you did not act in a responsible manner as a national commissioner after you discovered that there was something wrong. If General Mkwanazi can open a case, you too had a duty to open a case. Actually, it was supposed to be you, not even General Mkwanazi, because your deputy in Pretoria is the one who issues illegal instruction. Your minister in Pretoria is the one who issues illegal directives and to deal with the people of KZN. So the crime scene is in Pretoria. That's where it's being operated from. It's not being operated in KZN. It's being operated from the head office. As a national commissioner, you ought to take responsibility that on hindsight, you now realize that you are actually the most responsible person who should have acted on these matters.
Thanks, Honorable Chair. I agree I'm the responsible, but where the case was open, remember the directive was directed to PKTT, and the seat of PKTT is in KwaZulu-Natal. And, well, you can't open a case without affidavit. I'm the first one to pen my affidavit, and this is how we open a case, because you can't open a case without the affidavit. That affidavit of mine is the one that opened a case.
Now, what happens, what are the police protocols when your deputy is told by the most senior, then highest authority, don't do anything, don't write this letter. I will attend to this matter myself, leave it. And then you wake up the following day, this guy has written a letter. Let's leave the case and all of that. In terms of protocol, what did you do? Because Sibia gets suspended after the press conference of Mkwanazi and all of that, but you discovered that this person, I told him, just from a labor point of view and hierarchy and protocols, it can't be that you can give your subordinate an instruction and he acts, that is extreme. To write a letter to disband PKTT and you don't take action against him until there is this noise on Sibia. Only then we get to hear about special leave and all of that. But that is where after Sibia defied you and wrote a letter against your wish.
Yeah, thanks, Honorable Chair. I did say that I did call him and say, leave the matter right at the beginning. He wrote letters, and later I learned that he's still doing this. Hence, I told him, hey, I called him, they don't interfere with this PKTT.
Chair, no. I hear you. But what are the protocols? I mean, everywhere else, what are the protocols? If you say to this guy, don't write a letter, but especially on such a matter, and he writes a letter, the protocol is not, hey, don't do this. What course of action are you allowed to take, and why didn't you take that action against him?
Well, one of the actions I can take is to warn him, which I did at some point in April, May. I did call him and say, stop doing what you are doing.
Now, General, from where I'm sitting, and I don't have a doubt, unlike Honorable Bregdenbach, I agree that you opposed the dissolution of PKTT. And you did it in your own manner, because sitting there, I can see an agreeable person. So you are not going to come across as if you are General Mkwanazi or Malema or anything. You've got your way of communicating things. So that's your political principle. Whether they call it a boss or not, it's a political principle. It's overseeing your work and the work of the department and all of that. When he says dissolve PKTT and you are not agreeing, it can only be the way you are doing it. Okay, no, I hear you, why? And then the person is not budging on reasons, and then you say, well, let's take time, try to see how we go about it, because you're hoping something in between will happen. So you're buying time so that there could be a possible intervention, and amongst other things, in between you went to the president and briefed him and all of that. Will I be correct to make that observation that right from the scratch, you were not in doubt that this thing must not be dissolved? But you can't speak to your minister as if you are speaking to your subordinate. You find a correct, within a measured ways to address that point.
Yeah, no, that's correct. Yes, I believe that it's not right, and I find a way to address him, for him to open up, to tell us why is he disbanding this team, and that door remained not open.
Now, General, who qualifies to, when there is an information that deserves to be classified, who qualifies to classify information?
It is the author of the information.
So, minister can classify IPIT investigation on Palapal. Does he have a power to do that? If IPIT investigate and comes to the conclusions, and before they release, they share the information with the minister, a minister says, no, this report is classified, don't release. Does he have such a power?
No, it wouldn't be the minister who classified it. He can say it if he saw that the report is classified, but he doesn't have the power to classify it. The report would have been classified by the author, in this case, which is IPIT.
So the IPIT classified Palapala investigation?
According to what you are saying, yes, that will be correct, because I don't have it with me, and I wouldn't know what level of classification is there. But
no, I'm
the
not
author
according
would have.
to me. I'm asking if Palapala was investigated by IPIT, and then at the later stage they classified that investigation.
Themselves, as the authors, through you, Honorable Chair, would have, if the report is classified, it will be them, IPIT, that classified the report.
Have you checked up on General Kumalo since he called since he went on sick leave or something like that?
I did, Honorable Chair.
And how is he doing?
No, he's doing quite well now.
So we should expect to have him soon.
Yeah, we can expect him soon, yeah. It was quite a tragic thing, but I think maybe a week or so, he will be fine.
Now, General, when you say PKTT did a good job and therefore it must not be a closed down, are there few examples you can give us of the work done by the PKTT which are tangible and we can be in a position to make a quick reference to and confirm that indeed this team has made serious inroads?
Yeah, even though I don't have the details of each case, but there is a number of cases that I can give that they resolved. One of them, as I said, is the case of the DA councillor in Bergville. He was convicted for murder and killing. The case of also, I think it's a DA councillor in around Howick. There has been convictions in that regard, and a number of people, including the Nkosi there, has been arrested, and the case is going on. And yeah, the case of Cindy Somakaka, it is the PKTT that have unraveled what we now know. And the case is not yet still finalized. There has been conviction of some suspects or accused, but the case is not finalized. So there is still arrests that will unfold once the first phase is finalized. So, yeah, some of the cases, now and then you see in the media where I think recently they did get a life sentence in the murder at Ladysmith. They got life sentences. A number of cases they had life sentences. And in terms of arrests, we have seen they've recently, of course, brought Mr. Molefe on a number of cases, Ket Matlala on a number of cases, and in KZN, it's quite a number of cases, just that I will need to talk to each case, but those are the success that they have done. And also in terms of police officials that were involved in this type of political killings, or they aided in one or another or defeated the ends of justice, there is 34 police officials that the PKTT arrested, which some of them have been sentenced, some of them are still going court, and majority have been dismissed. Few are still left in the organization. And there is a number of firearms that they have recovered, over 100 firearms that they recovered, which were linked to these cases, where they also found people guilty of illegal possession of firearms and ammunition. So, yeah.
Now, when they went to Molefe's house to arrest him, they found a leader of the PA, Kenny Kunene, with Molefe, and they claimed there were other people, including a journalist. Are you aware of other people who were found in that house, or any journalist who was found in the house of Molefe when he was getting arrested?
I'm not, yeah, I'm aware that there was a journalist, but I don't know who. But I know that they did find Mr. Kunene at that house.
And a journalist? A journalist?
Yeah, the journalist, yes. I don't know who the journalist is, but I know that they did find Mr. Kunene there. Actually, it wasn't the first time. When they went for the second time, they found him there.
When they went for the first time for Molefe, they found Mr. Gunene there, and when they went the second time, they found Mr. Gunene there.
Yeah, the first time he turned at the gate, they were inside busy. He came to the gate and they showed him the road, and luckily, whatever he got, he went for the road.
General Mkhwanazi told us that you guys can search WhatsApps, including a view once and deleted WhatsApps and all of that. Do you have an equipment like that as SAPS, or have you outsourced that responsibility to a private company? And if it's a private company, whose company is that? And how was that tender awarded?
Honorable Chair,
Because we don't want to be searched here WhatsApps by Matala. Yeah? You give Matala's tenders there, only to find this WhatsApp thing is in the wrong hands. So we need to know if it's private, who. But if you've got equipment, that's enough.
thanks, Honorable Chair. The question is quite sensitive to answer this one. But we don't use service providers, but
Oh, so meaning it's internal.
I don't want to confirm that we can do that, Honorable Chair.
No, General Mkhwanazi came and told us. He said it himself. It's not like we're bringing a rumor or anything. He was sitting there. He told us that they search WhatsApps. They take your phone and search WhatsApps, and they've got, even if you delete, they will still find a way of using whatever equipment. So it's not a rumor. He came here and told us that. So I wanted you, as a top cop, to confirm if indeed that is correct.
Thanks, Honorable Chair. I'll have to go back and check with my division, crime intelligence.
Now, Mr. Nkabinde, what was his involvement in the running, in the operations of SAPS? Because he will be a chief of staff and operate at that level of the ministry. But the impression we get is that he was now interfering with the admin issues that do not necessarily need a political office to be involved.
Yeah, he would, Honorable Chair, he would interact with during meetings, when we have meetings with the ministers.
And he didn't, outside the meetings, he didn't get involved in the giving officials instructions or anything of that sort.
Yeah, no, from the sub side, I am not aware of, but from where he was worked once at IPID, I'm not sure, I wouldn't know.
And then Brown Mokhosi, was he ever involved with SAPS operations or interference of any kind?
No, what I know of, as I said, the first time Honorable Chair heard of the name Brown Mokhosi was from General Mkhwanazi when he raised matters, and I said no, let's investigate it, and we investigated, because when he got involved, that's when he was alerting General Mkhwanazi about the Mbangeni search that was done at the prison by the members of SAP. So it was at that juncture that he did speak to me about Brown Mokhosi. He bring back an incident that happened long ago, which actually was resolved long ago by myself, of the Mbangeni search of a prison warder's house.
What is so difficult with issuing out security clearance to people like General Mukwanas, because he says it's not of his own fault. There are many others who are waiting to get security clearance, and it looks like at the intelligence, crime intelligence or intelligence office, there are some people who are just deliberately holding clearance certificates for certain individuals.
Yeah, Honorable Chair, one of the reforms that we are doing is in that environment to reform. We do not say if somebody is not supposed to get, must get. However, those that qualify to get, they should get. But yes, I picked up that there are problems, and General Kumalo was attending to those problems that were in that environment. So now I will take it further. I'm taking it further with the new DIFCOM, with a view to bring reforms in that environment. And the reforms doesn't mean they must dish out willy-nilly security clearances, but all we are saying is they must do it proper, because somewhere there is, they do things in the wrong way. For example, you would recall that there was an issue about security clearance of General Kumalo, which was, they said was issued within a week, which is a lie. General Kumalo started the security clearance in 2018, and it was only finalized that time. And there is nothing wrong if I or any of the commanders saying, how far are you with so and so security clearance? They say, no, in a week we'll finalize it. Okay, no, finalize and let us know. There's nothing wrong with that. But then also there is a Major General Madondo who was there in crime intelligence, which they refused him the security clearance, and which was wrong, because before that, the same directorate did issue him with a security clearance. Because, for example, they say you have let's say, a case of assault some years ago when he was still a sergeant or a constable, and that case is expunged, and well, he was found guilty, dealt with it, whatever, he paid fine, and later when he was a brigadier, they issued issued him with a security clearance. And when it expires, now you can't come and raise the reason that I don't give you now because 30 years or 35 years ago, you had an assault case, whereas you did issue after that. So those were the disparities that we picked up, and hence I think it was himself, General Madondo, and General Khan, security clearance, that we referred to our other sister department to deal with that. So, but we are reforming that section with a view to, well, it's not the only one, but it's a number of areas that we need to reform in that environment.
Will you agree with a proposal that the top management of the police must be subjected to lifestyle audit, and that lifestyle audit must be done outside SAPS, perhaps with an institution like SIU?
I do agree, Honorable Chair. Hence, I've undertaken that process in April, and we are quite advanced in terms of having those processes to go. I don't see any problem. SIU can do it, or anybody else, but for now, SIU agreed to do it, and they are going to do it. They will start with myself and go down.
Thank you very much, General. Thank you very much, Chairperson. We can go to lunch now.
Thanks.
I want to thank you. This is so Christian-like. Honorable members, let me do this. I need to correct myself and apologize very profusely to Honorable Vessels. Because this morning when I opened the meeting, I said that we did not know about his whereabouts. And like the gentleman he is, he politely came to me and said, Chair, I know you are dealing with a lot of stuff. Let me remind you that I came to you yesterday to inform you that I will be starting at a doctor. And indeed it's true, the honorable member informed me that he will start at a doctor this morning. I want to apologize for any inconvenience that could have been caused on his part, on the part of the organization that he represents here, and the public that would have been following our proceedings. They may view him as a public representative who does not take them very serious when in fact the fault is mine. I want to very profusely apologize for that, and I think you will accept my apology, honorable vessels. When we come back from lunch, honorable members, the first speaker will be Honorable Ntuli, followed by Honorable Mwango, and then we will take Honorable Souls, Honorable Vessels, and then the chairperson will determine if there is going to be a break or not. And then the next speaker after Honorable Vessels will be Honorable Cameron, followed by Honorable Skosana, and the last is Honorable Sangon. Thank you so much. No, yeah, the reason why is because the Chief Whip has requested to be released, Honorable Sanguin, and that is why we have to arrange it like that. But you are sitting together, you can understand it better. And then let me say, the honorable members who have requested to be released, once you finish speaking, if you see time is no longer on your side, you are gladly released from the meeting. Thank you so much. And then may we please come back here at 2:30. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.